Alright, it's your man Brett from the Skateboarding Show, and I'm actually, well, I don't know, I'm in like a living museum. Would that be? Not really, I don't know, I don't think it's unfair to say. We got some skateboards around us. This is genuinely just a small selection of what you have. May you please introduce yourself?
Hello. I am Ed.
Are we not doing full names? No,
What's that? I'm already nervous, dude.
Well, it's tough. This is tough. That is the point.
What's that?
I'm recording it as well, so I can do it as a audio podcast as well, and probably sync it up to that, because this audio will probably be better than that. So
cool.
Who knows? Is that even in recording? Yes, it is. Okay.
Yes.
So are you not?
Great
Look
start.
at this. What have you done?
Waited all day to show you that.
So we just tried to get a bit of a skate. We went to Stonehouse Skate Park, and it was just drying. There were some people there with remote control cars. So we swept it out, and we got about what, half an hour?
Yep.
Maybe 3/4 an hour if we were lucky. And then it just opened. That wasn't even rain. Rain comes down in individual droplets.
Yeah,
it's
it was
just
like
someone just
here's
turned
the
the tap
rain.
on. Yeah, off you go. So we had to act like skateboarders in the rain and bail. Ed, are you
Yes.
prepared to divulge your surname and or your Instagram title so that people can find you?
Right. My name is Ed Price. You can find me on Instagram as either I've forgotten, Shred Captain, which is all my setup pictures, even though I haven't posted in 2 years, or you can go and see attempting skateboarding videos of myself and people like Brett sometimes at Shred Captain's Cabin,
Right.
with the underscores in between.
Yeah, remind us of that first one again, because we're not going to have time today to go through all these setups as much as I want to. As much as I really want to. And I think that would just be too long. I think it would just...
Shred Captain.
And then there'll be some people that'd be interested, but I think it would just take too long and we'd lose people after about the third hour. Yeah. So, Shred Captain.
Shred Captain.
And that is purely pictures of all of these different setups.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get stuck in with some really obvious cliched questions.
Okay.
How old are you?
27, I think.
When did you start skateboarding?
14 years ago, I think.
So you're about 13.
Just before, at the end of year 9 at secondary school.
Okay, so
Whatever.
So if we're going back, so about 2008?
Yeah, I think so.
So were you influenced by the Tony Hawk games, or had they been long gone by then?
I was very young when they came out. I had the second one on PlayStation 2.
Right.
I remember being like, that's cool, but I didn't skate.
Right. Is there anything in particular that got you into doing the act of skateboarding?
Well, I started off roller skating.
Right.
Shall I look at the camera or you? Sorry.
Just me. Just look at me. Cash.
Right. Rollerblading, like inline, you know.
You can look at the camera every now and then to make funny faces like that.
Yeah, but it's a good thing I did, otherwise I wouldn't be skateboarding.
No, okay, alright.
I used to go to Stroud Skate Park.
Yeah.
What was that face?
The plaza.
Yeah.
The flat. Okay. Yeah.
The concrete thing.
Yeah.
And so this would be, yeah. And the thing at the time was to take the 2 middle wheels out of the 4.
Right. So
you could do grinds.
So you
and
could do the
stuff.
grinds and that.
And that.
Actually, yeah. This ain't 1996. Like, we got love for the rollerblades. It's fine. I'm just messing around.
We know rollerbladers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Shout out Sai.
crap Argos rollerblades.
Right. Okay.
So I took the wheels out, 40 quid cheap ones, and took the wheels out, did my first grind, and the front or back wheel exploded.
Wow.
So I'm stuck at the skate park with some people in my year at school, and can't roller skate. I haven't got a wheel.
And had you rollerbladed there? Did you even have
Yeah.
shoes and that with you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I had
right,
shoes
okay.
and stuff with me.
Okay.
And one of my friends said to have a go on their skateboard, so I did it. I went on the skateboard. I went down the ramp, over the banked spine thingy,
Right.
in the
Okay.
middle, you know, and then I could just skateboard.
Was that your first go on a skateboard?
No, I had like cheap
Okay.
Toys R Us ones when I was super young, but doesn't count.
And did nobody say to you, you're not really supposed to be able to do that straight away?
No, it was just because I remember the day before that happened. I remember riding a skateboard
Right.
when they were having like a lunch or whatever, and I couldn't even push. So it was really weird that I could just go on the board and throw the board down and jump on and go down and over the thing just overnight.
So was it?
I think I was stood on the wrong way maybe.
Right.
I
Okay.
didn't know what stance I was.
Oh yeah, because you're goofy footed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And if you had tried to do it reg footed, then no wonder it wouldn't have
Yeah.
worked. It would have
Switch.
felt right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then so what? So what was it? A matter of just getting a board for Christmas that year, or getting a board straight afterwards?
My cousin had his old board when
Right.
he used to skate in the early 2000s. A mini logo board with Bentley
Right.
trucks and some random wheel, and I read that for ages until it broke,
Okay.
and then I got my first complete for Christmas, the same year I think. From my mum, which is a Speed Demon board, checkered graphic, black and white trucks.
Is it here?
Somewhere
Amongst.
under my bed a stack, yeah.
Now, I would love to take the time to show you everything in this room, but before we got here, Ed said, there's not very much lighting in this room, and I was like, it'll be fine. And I got in and I was like, oh no, you're right, there's not a lot of lighting in this room. Oh, he's found it though.
There it is.
Shout out to Decimal.
Reissue this sticker, please. I love Decimal sticker.
Wow, that is thrashed, isn't
Yeah.
it? You
I skated for a
thrashed
full
that.
year, one board,
You fully
and I stopped skating.
tore that
'cause
apart, didn't you? Oh, a big old crack in it.
Cracked it.
Big old crack.
I didn't even know about like
Right.
size of decks, so I don't know what I got next, but it was definitely bigger.
Right, okay.
Really small trucks, pretty.
So you're riding that and you're like 13, 14.
Yeah.
13. Did you say?
Yeah, one of those two.
Somewhere around that age.
Somewhere around there.
Okay. And at what point? So how long did you ride like popsicle normal
Oh.
shaped boards for? Because I've never seen you come out on a pop shaped board. I don't think.
No.
For a sesh.
Started when I was 18,
Right.
so do the math.
Okay. So about another 3 or 4 years later.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 years, depending on how old you were. Okay.
But
So if you're-
shaped boards were called cruisers back then, and they were much harder to find.
Yeah, I know, and that like
reissues,
a
yeah.
shaped board is not a cruiser. If you're like under 25, you need educating that a shaped board is not a cruiser, unless you absolutely, unless it's got like no pop
I mean, unless
on the
it's got
tail,
soft
unless
wheels
it's got,
on it.
unless it's got really soft wheels, and trucks that are like set up all weird back to front and that with a kingpin going diagonally through it, and like absolutely no tail at all. But even then. Because I'm looking at a line of boards there with no tail, no kick tail on them. They're still skateboards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most things are probably a skateboard, but just shaped. And like I think, I was really grateful that when I started riding shaped boards, like oh yeah, this is a skateboard and this is skateboarding. It doesn't need to be a popsicle shape to be called a skateboard. Fuck's sake. No, yeah, no, I'm just over it. I'm just like nobody under 25 is watching this anyway, right? Nobody cares if it's under 25. You know, we're not uber cool skateboarders,
No.
and the word hasn't gone around that this is really cool. So nobody under 25 is watching this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like only people who can make their own mind up about what's cool and what's not cool and what's to do with skateboarding and what's not to do with skateboarding will be watching this, and that's no one under 25 because they will rely on being told what to do. Yeah, no, I'm just bored. I'm just bored of that sort of stuff. Anyway, right.
Anyway, calm down.
So that was about 9 years ago.
Yes. And then about 4 or 5 years later, I discovered flat skateboards with no concave or a nose, and that's when everything got really fun and better.
Right. So I'm interested in knowing.
Sense. Because a nose is just a waste of space. It's just added weight. Don't need it.
See, now that's your opportunity to say something controversial. Like, forget noses. They're rubbish.
They're rubbish.
Was it a conscious? Because okay, I'm so massively aware of image in skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because everything, despite what anyone says, and me and you are going to discuss. So there's a reason I'm interviewing Ed. If you're watching this, it's because I've invited Ed to come and do some co-hosting with me, because I think Ed and I can have some pretty interesting conversations, and we can investigate some pretty interesting opinions and ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I really want to do.
Yep.
But and one of those I think we'll discuss at some point. I don't want to discuss it too much now because we'll do something on this later. Is this idea of image in skateboarding, including the image of allegedly having no image, including the image of appearing to not care, and like trying really hard to make it look like you've got some thrashed out clothing on and make it look like you don't care. No, that's not you. I'm just saying. But we all know those dudes who are like, yeah, I'm so punk, I don't care. It's like, I know full well you spent half an hour in the mirror this morning making it look like you don't care. Like, come on. Like, there's very few people who are actually living that lifestyle, and authentically living that lifestyle. So the reason I bring that up is because this has a certain aesthetic. This sort of like
80s skateboard.
retro, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sort of look and feel to it, right? Which is what a lot of these have in common. And we will get to this collection in a minute, and I really, really want to. And I don't want to. And I'm certainly not. I love it. I'm certainly not making any judgment about it. But I can observe with my own eyes that there is an aesthetic and a look and an image to this stuff. And you have a particular retro image. Again, behind the camera, there's a whole bunch of retro stuff that you can't see. That one day when I get here in enough time, because I was running late as always, and the sunlight's coming in properly, we'll take some photos and some video footage of all the amazing stuff you've got in this room and in this house, if you're willing to let me. Like Ed joked earlier, like, this is my dad's, or I thought he was joking when he said, come through this way, it's my dad's museum. And I was like, were you being sarcastic or what? And I walked through, I'm like, oh no, you're not being sarcastic. This is like genuine antique stuff you got. Mm-hmm. Right, anyway, so what is it like a conscious choice to go for that 80s retro aesthetic and dynamic and image, or is it something you're just naturally pulled towards and you don't understand why or know why, or what is the deal with what draws you?
The origin, you mean?
Yeah.
Right. That's a good question. Basically, I think I just naturally like it. I remember watching videos on the YouTube of when I was first riding like skateboards, whatever you want to call them, and trying to find like a style, I guess.
Right.
And I was watching people like Andrew Reynolds or Jerry Hsu, and all those sort of famous modern people.
All the regular people that you'd expect, yeah.
And I remember watching them like, they're really good, but I'm watching it and it's not affecting me. There's no like, yes,
okay.
Time to go skateboarding.
Right, okay.
There's nothing there. It didn't make any sense. And I couldn't it's hard, it's cool, they're going fast, but it just doesn't, there's no...
It wasn't touching your soul?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And then I discovered Thrashing.
The movie?
The movie Thrashing.
Which you all need to go and watch. Stop this right now, turn it off, and go and watch Thrashing the movie. And then when you come back, you'll recognise what that is.
Yeah.
So go and put it right up close. Go and fill up the lens with it. There we go.
Yeah.
So what?
Thrashing.
Right, what have we got on this? Because you've got
What do you mean?
multicoloured wheels.
We got
Talk us through that, and then we'll come back to you.
independent 149 slime balls, which are different coloured because why not? Rib bones by Papa what riser pads, and then rip grip from the 80s, original stock rip grip, and that's it. And then probably Jessup grip, mini logo grip, which I ripped and stuck stickers on. It's a good one.
Is it an Alva board?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it says.
And is it a reissue or is it an original?
Of course, it's a reissue.
Okay.
None of this is original. It's all reissue.
Right.
Because riding an original would be like...
Sacrosanct.
Yeah, weird. What were we talking about?
About like your choice, or your, if there was a conscious choice with this.
Yeah, I
aesthetic,
watched Thrashing,
right?
and that was like, wow, the theme song and the way they were skating through Hollywood Boulevard or whatever, and they're doing dirt slides on the flat and doing bonuses and kick turns and wall rides, and I was just like, whoa.
Blew your mind. I'm just checking my phone's on silent. Sorry.
This is skateboarding. This is what. Like
And Thrashing is a video.
Fun.
When was Thrashing made, or when's it from?
Like 86, 85.
And it's sort of set in that time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so it's essentially the Romeo and Juliet story, but set through the idea of two rival skateboard gangs.
Skate gangs.
Skate gangs. The Daggers and the Valley Boys, and the Daggers are like the Alva crew. The Bad Boys.
The
Leather
Hells
jackets.
Angels.
Hells Angel. Yeah, like all like leather jackets, dreadlock hair, beer cans, etc., etc. And the Valley Boys are all like clean cut, nice guys, but they can all skate, and it was relatively famous because it literally featured Alva, Hosoi, Hackett, like all those guys were in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steve,
Stedham?
was he in it?
Yeah.
Oh, what about Steve Olsen?
Steve Olsen's in it.
Steve Olsen's in it. They were either actual characters or they were stunt doubles for some of the characters. And was it Josh Broden, who did a lot of his own skating in it, because he can sort of like, he can push himself around on a skateboard. He's like competent enough to do most of his own stuff in it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And him as like the lead character of the Valley Boys falls in love with the sister
of the bad guys.
of the lead of the baddie
Hook.
gang. Yeah, right. So it's like proper authentic 80s style. They're all like skating launch ramps down at Venice Beach, and it's a hardcore scene, and it's like
skate life.
Yeah, it's anti-mainstream. It's like a rebellion. The Daggers definitely are saying no to mainstream culture and no to being told what to do and just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And you watched that and you were like,
boom, there we go.
right. So that brought you to the place of, that's the style that I want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
It all makes sense now.
Right. And was it like a light bulb going off? Was it like, right, I'm going straight out and buying an 80s board right now?
Pretty much, yeah. I got my first reissue was there's it under there. There's a Vision hippie stick, which I don't have set up. But that was the first one, and I remember riding that and being a bit like, whoa, this is well weird to ride, but you know, you get used to it, and it's fun.
So did that also...
And then I bought, then I got the, not set up, I got the Pal Peralta Tommy Guerrero Flaming Dagger.
Right.
In a light blue colour, and then that was when I was much more bendy and stuff, so I could do a lot more street plans and stuff. But when I read that board, I was like, yes, skateboarding.
That's on.
It's on.
Okay.
Hand plants and stuff. Cool.
And did you make a conscious choice to do 80s? Do you consider yourself someone who does 80s style skateboarding, or do you just do skateboarding?
Just do skateboarding.
Right. Okay.
There's no rules.
Alright, don't give me
There's no guidelines.
We're definitely doing a podcast on that. Don't talk to me about the idea there's no rules. Of course there's rules. And people who are like full of, there's no rules. Of course there is. Like, if I took a chainsaw to my skateboard and chopped it in half and went, yeah, that's like the latest, newest trick, everybody would be like, you're an idiot, what are you talking about?
It'll
Of course
probably
there's
become a
rules.
trend.
It would for like all of 5 minutes until everyone like, until somebody sensible went, what are you doing, you idiot, stop it. So, of course there's rules in skateboarding. I don't care what anyone says. We like to think there isn't, but of course there is. Like, we like to talk about. Anyway, so, but you are right that there is a huge amount of freedom. There's a massive spectrum of things you could do on a skateboard, and it doesn't only involve nollie flip, cook grind, nollie flip out. It does involve, yeah, right?
What?
See, okay, so this is what I'm quite interested in. Like, you're aware of that stuff though, right? You just choose not to...
It's just boring.
Right. Okay.
Not boring, but it's just, like I said, it doesn't...
It's not your scene, it's not what
doesn't get me fired up. Yeah.
Right, okay. Okay. And you're aware of, like, modding companies, like,
Santa Cruz.
Almost and Madness
Polar.
and Polar and all that sort of gear.
Mm-hmm.
But again...
I know of them.
You know of them.
They know of me.
Not really. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but it's a conscious choice to focus your attention on something else rather than the absolute latest thing that's coming out of Thrasher magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where do you have good sources of, you know, because like I've just alluded to, if you want to keep up with the absolute latest trends and want to be told what to do in skateboarding, then you watch Thrasher. And you just see whatever edit they're pumping out and go, well, that must be the cool thing that I'm supposed to be into, so let's be into that then. Do you have a source of places where you're like, this is a great place for me to come and watch new 80s stuff that I haven't seen before?
Just YouTube, I guess.
Yeah?
Just
Okay.
look it up. Find it.
There's that guy that's been, is it Real Surf Stories? Do you ever watch any of his stuff?
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he was
Filmer.
like, yeah, he looks like he was one of the original filmers for like those Santa Cruz videos like Wheels on Fire, Streets on Fire. Where he's just been like releasing the raw, like this is everything we filmed that day. Amazing.
Amazing.
So good. Just like that. You must have seen the pool session with like Hosoi and Grosso and Sauber and really tight pool with a tight hip, and like if you're looking into the pool from the shadow on the right hand side, and Hosoi's the only one who like proper decks out a rock and roll on it, like so good, and everyone else is trying to even like wall ride it and they can't get anywhere, they like are barely getting up it and that, and Hosoi's fully like bam bam straight in.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, again, I'm interested in knowing the conscious thought process of, at what point did you decide, okay, I could have more than just one of these 80s style boards,
Mm-hmm.
and if I have more than one, I could keep them, and I could pick and choose what I choose to skate each time I go out skateboarding.
Yeah.
Well, when or how did you come to that?
Well, I was working a job where I would work every other weekend, so it meant I could only ever go to the skate shop every other weekend, and then I was buying a lot of boards off eBay. You know, you can get a good complete for like £100, but you'd be missing something, and it would be annoying to have to wait till the weekend to go into the town or city, whatever, to go and get some bolts or whatever. So I just started to basically hoard it all.
Right.
And just stack up, because I was buying loads of boards. I know I'd need it. And then suddenly, you know, just... No, that's wrong. I was running an 8.8 shape board.
Right.
And I bought...
Small for you,
Yeah.
God, yeah.
And then I bought a bigger board which needs 169s. So that's my first 2 setups.
Right.
I have 149s and 169s, but I only have one set of wheels. And I hated having to want to ride each one every day and change rails and wheels. And then I bought that reissue, the first with the Vision Hippie Stick. And again, I'm changing the trucks, I'm changing the wheels, and it's so annoying to just every day because I want to ride something different. So you just stock up on bits.
So it wasn't.
And then,
see, you just said the critical bit. You wanted to ride something different every day.
just because, yeah.
Just because there's no conscious choice of I'm going to be that quirky weird guy. It's just that's just genuinely what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Right. I think some people aim to be something, and some people just genuinely are that. And you're saying that you just genuinely wanted to ride something different every day. You weren't prepared to go down that route. You didn't want to go down that route of I have one board, one setup. That's what I ride until it's thrashed out, and then I get a different one. Okay. So with that in mind, do you have a thought process for which setup you choose when you go skateboarding?
I do now, yeah.
Because if you haven't picked it up, and I haven't said it, we haven't said it, it might need saying, you quite often will come out with a different, all these are set up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to, and that's what you were just alluding to as well.
Yeah.
You were getting annoyed with having to take wheels off one to put onto another, because you wanted to take that board out rather than this board.
Yeah.
And all these are set up ready to go because you will often come out with a different board than what I saw you with last week or yesterday or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever brought, quick aside, have you ever brought 2 boards to a session because you were like, I might want that board for that?
I have done, yeah.
Right, okay.
And it sucked.
Okay.
Because you can't make your mind up.
Right, okay. But we'll come back to that.
It's constantly changing and it just feels weird.
What is your decision process when you're like, okay, today I'm going skateboarding, someone's about to come and pick me up, or I'm about to go, which board do I take? What's your decision process?
Excuse me. Well, I mean, when I first started collecting, it was an addiction. Absolutely. Like, I would be looking on eBay every day and just get whatever I could, however I could, whatever. And that's how it happened, just having loads of setups and constantly doing that through eBay and skate shops and whatever. And I was riding different boards and I didn't know about the dimensions of boards.
Right.
And how it affected the way you skate. So this board here has a 17.5-inch wheelbase. So I would ride that thing and then ride
something with a different size
something
wheelbase.
with a different wheelbase, like, I don't know, this thing, which has like a 14.25-inch wheelbase. And I didn't know what those things were. So I was constantly riding different boards. And then I found out what the dimensions were and measured it and realised what I actually liked.
Right.
And what was working and felt more comfortable, which made me go faster and
did you get
go
told?
bigger.
Did you get told that they had an impact on the way the board reacted, or did
Not
you
at all.
find out
I
through
just
going
found out
out and
myself,
skateboarding?
yeah.
You were like, this one feels different to that one,
I didn't know what.
but you didn't know why.
Just didn't think to measure anything, whatever.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you start measuring these things and you realise what what, and you realise actually, if I'm going to go skate Stonehouse, I want to ride a 17-inch wheelbase. As compared to this Hasoi Hamhead, which has 16, even though it's an inch difference, it feels more comfortable and it's so much more fun to ride on. So if you said to me, oh, we're going to go to Spit and Sawdust, I'd probably want to ride this one.
Yeah, I think I've seen you ride that one there,
Yeah,
right?
or
The big
Churchdown
Alva
or whatever,
board,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'd want to ride this one because it's 34 inches long, 17.5-inch wheelbase, has a nice kicktail and has 215s on it. And that will be far more comfortable and fun to ride at Spit and Sawdust As compared to if you were to say, oh, meet the Easington, I would want to ride maybe this one, which has a 16-inch wheelbase.
And what is the difference that you feel with that wheelbase for you personally?
Just longer, better, more comfortable.
Turning, agility, what you say?
Just the stance.
Right, okay.
It's nice to know that my feet are far apart.
Right.
Because the modern skateboard is like 14 and a half.
Yeah.
So that's like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like that.
Or to you, it would feel like
Yeah.
your feet are close together.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like you do a rock and roll, and you deck it, and your feet are further apart. It just feels more comfortable to be like, as compared to like, cha.
Okay. Right. So I'm almost a bit scared to say this, because these are really obvious questions. Okay, let's start with some. Are they all on indie trucks? You seem quite an indie truck.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not all of them. But
And I thought I've heard you say before that they're all true to their time period. Is that
as
right?
close as possible, yeah.
So what do you mean by that? Because I like the idea of that, but I want you to explain that to us.
Well, I mean, you could buy a skateboard like this one. There's a soy hammerhead. And put 169s on it and just some Spitfire,
Wheels.
54mm, whatever,
Yeah.
and it would work exactly the same. But you can look into it and you can find out what wheels they would have been riding in 1985. And, you know, make it look as though it was genuinely...
So what wheels have you got on that then?
They're the Hosoi OJ Rockets.
And again, and are they reissues? Have you got any
They're
original
reissues.
wheels? Okay.
I got a few old wheels. Those are 80s Hosoi wheels. Those are 70s wheels by Sims. I ride old wheels. That's fine. That doesn't feel as weird like an old board. Rails. And you drill holes in the skateboard like they were done back in the day to make the things, you know, the nuts.
But you don't use them. You're not using sex bolts on there though.
Not on this one, not anymore, no.
But you did.
I did, yeah.
Right. Okay.
They're on a different setup now.
Okay. And riser pads, authentic
pads.
cell block riser
And
pads.
cell block, yeah.
Okay.
This is just a gimmick.
But what bearings have you? Do you use modern day?
Oh yeah, I'm not using loose ball bearings. Yeah,
But, and again, some original 80 stock Alva rip grip on there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
that stuff there.
Okay. Right. So.
And it's more fun to research what they would have been riding back in the day.
I'm just trying to think about like, because for me, I could just stay here. Oh no, put it back or whatever. It's up to you. I don't know. Actually, I'm not telling you what to do. Is it a pain to put it? These like only just seem to fit in together.
I didn't put the rack up right.
You had to make this rack and put it up.
Yeah.
Right. How many boards? How many setups have you got?
Oh god.
Well, how many have you got?
Last time
1,
I
2,
counted-
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 16, 32, 65, about 64 here, 64, 65, about 65 just here.
Uh-huh.
Jesus wept, okay. 65, there's
But
5 there, so there's 70 there, and you've got some, the ones hanging up that are not set up, are they original ones?
No, they're all reissues or limited editions.
Right, okay. And then you've got like a
Or signed.
you've got about another 60 just boards underneath the bed.
Yeah.
Some of which look used and thrashed.
There's 2 more of them.
And there's a couple more over there. You've probably got more setups than most skate shops.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, I know.
You've got 6, and each one of these is.
And there's
each
more on the floor as well. There's some.
Oh, okay. But the ones on the racks, I reckon you've got about 64 skateboards on the rack here. And any one of these is ready for you just to pick up and take and go and skate. They're all ready to go.
They said that word because it hasn't got bearings in the wheels.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, okay.
But all of the rest of them have, yeah.
Okay. And you purposely have them like that so that you don't, like you say, so you don't have to swap some wheels out or swap rails out or anything. You go straight to it, grab it, go.
Yeah.
Depending
Go
on
have fun.
where you're going and how that board's going to feel
Yeah.
at where you're going. Wow. So actually, the location. So when you ask where we're going, when I ask you, oh, do you want to go here or there?
Yeah.
It's a massive deal for you because you've got to think
Sleepless nights.
Oh, now I see why you're so uneager to give an answer. Whereas the rest of us just have one board and we're just like, well, we'll make it work wherever we're going.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't think
It's
about
fine. No, I don't have to think about that.
No.
Like if I go to Spit Sawdust or Churchdown, I've got one set up. I'm taking that.
it. It's kind of a curse, really,
Yeah.
because it is annoying. But, you know, it doesn't matter.
But it's interesting because it also means that, like, if we know you're coming, we're like, what's he going to bring today?
Not even I know.
Who knows?
Sometimes I get downstairs, really go and think, nope, wrong one.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you, like, gone all the way? How far have you got before you've
No,
gone?
not that far, no.
Okay, you haven't got, like, halfway to the skate park. Because you don't drive, right? You don't have a car. So you haven't made someone turn back
No.
and go, right, no, turn around, we're going back. I want a different board, actually. Okay. But you've got down to the front door and gone, actually no, I don't want this
This
one.
one stinks.
Okay. Do you have a favourite?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
That's an obvious one. I know it's an obvious question.
No,
but
I
it's
don't.
got to be. Right, okay. You really do. Yeah, because I believe you when you say you don't have a favourite.
I know what I like. Dimensions and widths and
Okay.
wheels and stuff, but
Is it?
it hasn't
do,
been made yet.
Do you have a favourite for a particular skate park? Like if I was to ask you what's your favourite for Churchdown?
Churchdown is weird. Anything. This rack here. These are my favourites typically.
I was gonna. Okay. So they are organised in some way.
Yes, but the rest are random. Well, actually, not all my favourites are on there, but typically.
Okay, so this is a
And
rack.
they're
I keep forgetting that because we're recording this audibly. You keep doing stuff where
Lots of skateboards.
Yeah. The rack. There's no point me trying to describe it. There's 4 racks of skateboards here. This is why I was able to do a quick calculation. Each rack seems to be able to, and if you're watching this on the video, you can see. And we might move the camera around a little bit. I don't know. I might take some incidental shots. We'll see. That would require me to do some editing in that. There are 4 racks of skateboards here. Racks that you've made with dowels coming out ready to hold the boards. Without putting pressure on the trucks or wheels, I notice. You're putting you're just hanging them off the board itself. 4 racks, 3 against one wall, and then another rack perpendicular against another wall at a right angle to it, which you're sat in front of. And you're saying it's that rack
Is my go-tos.
are your main go-tos. Which one did you take out today? I can't remember.
This
Which one did you had that one today that we tried to skate. When we tried.
All of these
Okay.
boards will have a 17-inch wheelbase
Right.
or
okay.
bigger.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's what
I
I
see.
like to
yeah.
ride.
Yeah, I do. I recognise something like the Alpha one. I recognise.
That one there
Yeah,
and that one.
but you come out with so many different ones that I can't even keep.
Yeah. And
Now-
sometimes I'll switch over the parts for the ones under the bed.
Okay.
So there'll be a deck under there I haven't ridden for like a year and I'm like, ooh.
Right. Okay.
Bring this bad boy back to life.
Could you get the Alpha one out a minute, please? Because you educate. I love. See, this is what I mean about like if you're really into skateboarding. You told me something the other day that blew my mind because it was a really
Oh, this
interesting.
thing.
Yeah.
The curve of the rail.
Why are the rails curved like that? So, right, again, if you're only listening to the podcast, we're talking about, you may not have seen this, and you may have seen this, and if you have seen this, you know what I'm talking about. Some people set up their rails on these older 80s boards, either dead straight, they just leave the rail as it is and leave it dead straight, and maybe in some area of the board, either an inch in or right on the edge or wherever it is, some people set up the rails so they're wider towards the front truck and then pull in towards the middle of the board and then a parallel again towards the back truck.
Typically people just keep them curved all the way like that.
Okay.
Just one curve, not
Just
so
one
much straight at the end.
Okay. But you do a sort of almost wave shape,
Yeah, like a little Z or whatever.
like a little Z type thing.
A Z.
Now you tell me what you told me. You tell us, tell the world, or the one person watching,
Hello.
whatever. Hi. Or listening. Hi.
Hello.
Why you do that with your rails? What's that about?
Right. Well, as you can see here, or listen to, scratch graphic, no scratch graphic.
Right.
Oh, because if the board has no concave,
Right.
they can just be flat.
Okay.
Because the point in a rail is supposed to help you do tricks better, in a way.
Yeah.
Or whatever, it'll help you just do tricks. So by having it, if I was to have it just go along with this thing, along the edge of the rail, oh, I don't know what to say. It'd be good for grabbing, doing grabs. But when I do board slides, it would just be...
You'd still be sliding on the wood in the middle because the concave's it's sort of relatively deep and that board's so wide that the rails are only so high, aren't they? So like you'd still be sliding in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
On the wooden bit. Because don't mistake the idea. Remember, again, you're probably not under 25, so you probably know this, but the edge of a board is called the rail. We got the nose, the tail, and the edges of the board in between the wheels is the rail. So when you're talking about, if you put just the plastic rail parallel and right next to the rail of the board, the edge of the board, on something like this, which is what, 10 11?
This is 10.75.
Wide, the concave is so much, and the width of that is so much that if you went to do a rail slide, then you'd still be hitting the wood, which completely null and voids the point of having the rails.
Because rails, apart from being handy for tricks, are also supposed to, supposedly, keep your graphic for longer.
And help you slide, give you a more consistent slide. It doesn't matter if you get on a rail.
Let's get to it. So the point in this bit is, I have like 2 grabs. So that's for grabbing.
So when your plastic rail is right close to the edge of the rail of the board, it's good for grabbing.
That's for grabbing, like a beam plant. Boom! Like that. Boosh! Mush. And then this bit would
in
be
the middle,
in
where
the middle.
It sort of waves in and comes in towards the middle of the board.
3 bolts here, screws. That would be for board slides, and because they're
more towards the back truck.
They go in a little bit. It means you're getting more slide on the rail than the deck, which protects the graphic and gives you a sturdier, smoother slide.
Yeah.
And in the end, where it goes straight again.
And where they're now a lot closer to each other, the plastic rails. They're further away from the rail of the board.
Sometimes board slides aren't all in the middle, obviously. They're there, which is what these scratches are for. It means, again, more slide on the rail, and I don't do many grabs here, apart from fast plants, which is also comfortable, which is okay. It also means when you do a rock and roll,
a proper decked out.
Decked rock and roll, because that's what we like to do.
Which I don't do, so I'm making no judgment on anyone else who doesn't do them either.
It means when your board goes over the coping, it is...
right on.
It is, the rails are on the coping and it gives it a nice, sturdy, flat
base.
Plate, to just sit before you whip it back in.
Before you roll it back in from the rock and roll.
I didn't explain that very well.
No, you did. So if you see somebody with curved in S-style rails, yes, it's because each area has its own functionality.
Yeah.
Grabs, slides, rock and rolls. Working from the top truck downwards.
Yeah. And I first saw a picture of Dwayne Peters doing this.
Right.
But it wasn't like I said, where not like this S, more just like a straight curve.
Right.
And that's when I just tried it. And then through just experimenting, I realised that actually it does help.
Have you cut out these like grip bits?
That's just done on an electric sander.
So on this particular set of rails that I'm looking at right now, the top bits towards the front truck, you've cut out like almost grip bits, like cutouts of it. So when you go to grab it, your fingers fit in there a little bit.
Because there were companies like Smith Sticks.
Right. Okay.
That made different rails.
Yeah.
And they would make little grooves again, just for grip.
Yeah.
Whether it helps, probably just a gimmick. But
again,
that's why we do it.
Again,
trial and error.
This is what I'm talking about, and we'll start wrapping this up now. Go on.
Where the whole thing is.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm on about. The difference between skateboarding because you want to do the activity of skateboarding, and skateboarding because you think it's cool and you just get the cool stuff, and you just hang around with the cool kids all day. There's a big difference between the functionality.
Function over fashion.
Yeah, function
That's
over
what you're
fashion.
going for.
Yeah. And it sounds to me like you're going for function rather than fashion. Yeah. But at the same time, and this is what I was trying to get at earlier, we know that there is a fashion for this stuff. Actually, there is a bit of a fashion.
Trends, yeah.
Yeah. It sort of come. Yeah. I mean, during the 90s, nobody would have been seen dead on one of these boards.
No.
Because everyone would have been like, "What are you doing? That's like what you got your dad's skateboard or something? Come on." But now, there is a fashion for this stuff, and there is a place for it.
Yeah, I remember going to one skate shop.
Just yam it in.
Just get it in there.
Get
the
it in.
skateboard's back in the rack.
The skateboard.
That's what that noise
That's what that noise was.
Going to a skate shop and asking for rails.
Right.
I'm like, what? What is that?
Wow.
What's a rail?
What's a rail?
That wasn't even that long ago.
Wow.
Didn't have any.
Shout
I
outs.
remember asking for see-through grip. Well, what's that?
Shout outs to Sid, who's sitting on a set of rails for me. I'll come and collect those soon. He's not watching this. He doesn't care. Because he's too busy out skateboarding. That's why. Because he is a genuine skateboarder. That amazes me. If you've got a shop and you don't know what rails are, or.
But then they became trendy. Everyone started riding just one.
Yeah, right.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was a thing for a bit, wasn't it?
It was.
That was a thing for a hot minute, as I believe the youth say. What was the last one you bought? What's the last setup you put together?
This one.
Right.
Which I've ridden with you a few times.
Okay. And when was that? When did you last?
Like 4 months ago.
And how much did it cost? Are you willing to divulge?
I got this one. Is it on the camera? Nope. This is a Pool King skateboard.
Pool King.
Pool King from the USA.
Right.
Came out in 2013, I think. Only a few came over. And it's got this weird composite stuff, which is why it's all cross-grained like that. Anyway, didn't buy one back when they first were available.
Right.
And I saw it on eBay, and I was like, "What? I want one of those." And then I bought it. But it came up with these 215s, Drux, and a set of wheels, and one of these yellow rails, two of the set yellow rails. It was £100,
Okay.
which is really good.
Yeah, right.
Because 215s themselves cost
they're not cheap.
£65.
Yeah.
And the board back in the day would have cost £60.
Was it second hand or was it brand new?
Second hand, skated for like a minute.
Right.
There was hardly any wear. Every scratch on there is not mine.
Right. Okay. Okay, and that's one of your. And what wheelbase is that?
17.25.
Okay.
I think.
So that sits
And
on your.
It's got a nose.
It's got a little bit of a
There's
nose.
a nose on it.
And the
But I
paint,
like this
the
shape.
paint flick on the grip tape, and the crazy grip tape job as usual. Some sort of grip tape job. And that's sitting on your favourite rack. That's sitting on your.
It's good. It's fun.
Okay.
And I've had these wheels for ages as well, so it's nice to have them set back up.
And the
So
double
you-
rails.
Double
just in
rails.
case anybody
Right,
knows.
double rails. Woo
What's that about? Tell us
Right.
what that's about.
Makes it heavy, obviously.
2 rails on each side.
2 rail. How greedy.
It is. She's a she's a heavy girl, isn't she?
But we don't do anything like flip tricks.
No, I know.
airs, so it doesn't matter.
We don't care about those.
Basically, again, rails have a function, and that is sliding and grabbing. So there's so much concave that when I put it towards the edge for a grab, it was still scratching the board, meaning I wouldn't have a stable slide. So just whack a second pair on.
Bang another second.
It's not
bang
very
a second pair
comfortable to
on.
grab,
Right. Okay.
but you get used to it.
Okay.
I don't know.
And how would you describe the truck? You're a loose, tight, medium truck
People
rider.
always say I've got tight trucks,
Right.
but I ride my board in blood. That feels loose.
Right, yeah. Yeah, no, I'll go with you on that one.
If I were like a scale, I would be like on the like a loose tight.
Well, people have said that about my trucks, and I think most of the time it's that people don't know how to lean into their trucks properly to make them turn.
Mm.
People expect it just to like turn without putting any effort in.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you have to get on your toes or get on your heels and put your body weight into it and actually like lean into it to make it work. Like, don't just expect it. This is one of the beautiful things that I love about skateboarding. Like, none of this is going to do any of it for you. You have to do it yourself.
Mm.
So I've had people, I can relate to the idea of, I've had people stand on my board and go, well, that's a bit tight. I'm like, no, you just need to crank it properly.
Yeah.
You just need to get on it and lean it properly.
When you're going, obviously people are saying that when it's stationary.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
But when you're going around a bowl and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, no hate. Like if you've got a day one setup with like not even a front rubber in the front truck,
Just the washers.
and it's
yeah.
actually wibbly, then cool, that's your thing. Like you go for it. Like wherever, it's all good. No hate. But yeah, just be aware that
Again, when people were riding one rail, they would the trend was also to ride super loose trucks.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I used to ride some of those people's boards, and they weren't turning properly. They were just turning because they were so loose.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything actually happening. The bushing wasn't doing anything because it was just so loose.
Yeah. I wonder
How
about
weird.
that. Yeah. Again, we're coming back to this idea of people following trends just because they think they're supposed to.
And putting the grip over the boats.
Yeah.
That was a thing for a little while. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just double checking that's actually that. I bet I've been recording. It is recording. But I know I would be so annoyed because we've gone well over the time. But I could continue talking.
Let's keep going. Come on.
No, because I don't. Because you tell me, people listening or watching this, whether you want me to come back another time and we go through each one of these skateboards. It's entirely up to you. That would be a long video, and I kind of am tempted to, but is it something you'd be interested in? If it is, leave a comment, let me know, and would you be interested in taking us through, if not everyone, like a good selection?
I'll go through the good ones, yeah.
Go through the good ones and really break down what you've got on them and why you've got it on them. I guess the answer to that is because it's time correct, because it's period correct.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alright. So, yeah. Because I could be here for another 2 hours going through all those boards right now. But what I wanted to do was pick Ed's brain about your conscious choice around why you've done this. Because it could be really easy, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, to go, he's just choosing to be trendy and cool in some sort of like weirdo retro way. But like, I think I've known you long enough now to go, no, I think this is a really genuine thing with you, that you're just like, no, this is what I want to do for no other reason than I just want to do it. Like, call yourself a transition skater or a street skater?
I would call myself
I think I know what you're going to say.
a skateboarder.
Yeah, okay, nice, I like it. And for those of you listening on the podcast, I might have to edit this in later. If you remember right at the very beginning, Ed said, I've been waiting to show you this all day. He's wearing a Skateboarding Show t-shirt. I'm very, very grateful. I must have gifted you that.
You did, yeah. I wouldn't buy this.
I wouldn't buy this old Todd.
Been in the wardrobe for 6 years.
Because they weren't for sale. They were purely gifted merch. Do you have any plans for any new boards that you're going to buy? Have you got your eye on anything at the moment?
No.
Do you have boards that you're looking to get, or do you just wait to see what comes up? Do you have...
It's just waiting to see what
Do you have
happens.
alerts on eBay to let you know about things?
Some things, yeah.
Do you really? Are you prepared to divulge an example?
It's just everything comes from America.
Right.
All the good stuff, really.
Okay.
So you see it on their Instagram, and then you wait like half a year for it to come to England, and
Wow.
it probably costs £200. Because
Wow.
skateboard prices are going.
Have you ever contemplated flipping any of it? But and by flipping, I don't mean in the skateboard kickflip or heel flip sense. I mean, have you ever contemplated selling any of the boards that you have to create more funds for you to go and get other boards? That
I've ridden them all, so
right. I can see some down there that's still.
No,
in plastic.
they're all. There's one.
Well, there's that orange one there. That's in the plastic.
Oh, true. Yeah, I got that. But I'm gonna ride that.
Okay.
Anyway.
So you have plans, and there's the ones on the walls that haven't been ridden.
For my eyes.
Right. So if they're for your eyes, am I not allowed to video them in a minute?
Stop looking. Stop it. Stop it. No, just I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There's 2 popsicle sticks over there, by the way.
Yeah, I did see those. Yeah, you got two stereo boards.
Yeah.
A June and a
Jason Lee
board. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Why would you not have those? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let us know in the comments if you want a breakdown of each of these boards, because I think that could be interesting, but it could be a long video, and that's not necessarily what we were looking to do today. What I want to do today was to sort of introduce you to Ed.
Hello.
And to let you know why I think he's a worthy person to be an occasional or more regular, I don't know, but definitely a co-host of some description. I'd really like to do some podcasts and some video blog, whatever it is, I don't know, some content. Let's just call it content. I know. I don't know what we're supposed to call it. Let's just talk shit about skateboarding for a little bit. I think we've done enough of that today. We've done nearly an hour, so I think that's about I think we're about done. I think we
You said half an hour.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm interested. It is really interesting. Of course it is, because it's really interesting to sort of get out of yourself and get over yourself about like, no man, you're supposed to just have one skateboard and just ride it and do kick flips, right? Like, fuck off. Like, just fuck off. Like, there is different ways. Yeah, just like if that's how you feel. If that's how you feel, you're probably watching the wrong YouTube. Yeah, you're probably watching the wrong YouTube channel or listening to the wrong podcast. Because actually, I think all skateboarding is pretty amazing. Like, definitely including freestyle, definitely including slalom, definitely including people who ride like mega ramps and stuff. Like, skateboarding isn't just nollie kickflip, crook grind nollie kickflip out. It's like but again, love to those people who do that.
Yeah.
And like, it's amazing, and I can't do it, and it's brilliant skateboarding, but it's not the only skateboarding.
Yeah.
There is other skateboarding, and actually perhaps, because to me, some of this allows me through you to give a nod to the people who went before us. You know, it allows me, recognising this and respecting this, to give a little nod to Hosoi and Alva and all those people, and to say, do you know what? Thanks for the inspiration. Thanks for inspiring the guy who then inspired the guy who then possibly inspired me. Or even, you know, the degrees of separation may not even be that much. You know, like, yeah, I like that. I like that lineage. You know? Especially when you go all the way back to someone like Alva, who could be argued to be one of the originals, who changed what was a sport and what was an organised activity into the culture that we know it as today.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm definitely interested in picking your brain some more as well about.
Go for it.
80s culture, but maybe not now, because I think we're done. But we can do that as we're going through these boards, because are some of these pro boards? Are they like pro model boards for people?
Typically, yeah.
Okay. So
there's some team boards in there as well.
And do you know about the pros whose boards they are?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. And their impact on skateboarding and their impact on the skateboarding culture.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I just want to say that this doesn't happen overnight. I haven't just thrown loads of money into this. This is happening slowly.
That is a very good point.
I'm not like a greedy...
No.
Just like...
No. I can testify...
money.
Yeah, I can testify he's not just some greedy rich kid who's got like a trust fund or goes to mummy and daddy for more money all the time. You work. You've always worked. You've worked every time I've known you.
Mm-hmm.
Either in a garden centre or painting and decorating, or what you're doing right now, if you're willing to tell us.
Talking to you.
So, okay. Do you have work right now?
Not right now, no.
Okay, but there's some so it doesn't, so there's no way I can testify that he has not just like gone and got money from mummy and daddy and filled his room with skate paraphernalia. You've literally worked for every single board and set of wheels and set of trucks that we see here, including, like you said,
off eBay, cheap.
Yeah, buying them second hand sometimes if you needed to. With the right amount of wear, you wouldn't buy like a totally thrashed out just because it's.
Sometimes they're pretty beat up, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Really.
Okay. Because you're only going to go thrash it and skate it.
Yeah. Let me just show you. I think this is probably the worst condition I've ever bought. Come on.
You're going to need some sort of quick release system, aren't you, really?
Quick! Oh, this one is pretty beat up. I think that's the most, like with that thing there.
Oh, yeah, that's a good chip out of it, that one, and that's a good dent.
It's quite an old board as well. But yeah, nothing much really. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're putting that there as opposed to trying to put it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Not on camera, we'll do that.
It's a good way to just.
In a minute, we'll put that back in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an easy way to get skate stuff. You haven't got to buy it from the skate shop.
Yeah.
You know, brand new. It still works.
Yeah. Yes, because it's the
the
shape of it that's unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including things like the wheelbase and the width and so on and so forth, yeah.
Yeah.
Ed, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been fun.
Very
Sorry for
informative.
the awkward start. I was a bit.
Yeah, I know. No, I knew you'd relax into it, and thank you for not being too awkward about it. It's I've never seen anything like this. If you have a collection like this, especially ones that you actually use on a regular basis,
Whoopsie.
please do let me know, because I'd love to come and see it. You know, like yeah, it'd be amazing. It'd be a real honour to come and see your quiver of boards. Is that right? I know in surfing they call it a quiver if you've got more than one board. I just decided, well, if they call it that in surfing, let's call it that in skateboarding as well.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Just less water.
Especially with the amount of rain that fell today on us. Hey, we got shulking. Do you think my jacket's caught your house on fire by yet?
Yeah.
Possibly.
There it is.
Left my jacket on the radiator just because it was sodden, basically.
Yeah.
It was sodden.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
You
It was
got
fine.
wet is the point of the story.
We got wet, so we came and did it. We always the plan to do a podcast, but we were hoping to get more of a skate in beforehand, but we didn't. Right. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good point. Happy New Year. This is filmed on New Year's Day. So let's hope
Day one.
Let's hope that the rest of the year isn't getting rained out at sessions, but
It will be.
well, we are in the UK, so what do you expect?
Whee.
Right. This has gone way beyond time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Go skate. Go skate.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Turn this shit off. Go skateboarding.
What he said.
I swore.